How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I've been paying attention to a lot of things that's going on in the universe, and we try our best to cover many subjects. And sometimes I'll just pull back and take it all in, and the thing that continues to echo in my psyche is when Farrakhan said, watch the weather. So I was up really late, probably in the wee hours in the morning, and all of a sudden they had a news flash, and they were talking about these tornadoes in Missouri and how major it was. And I was like, wow. So this picture, like you see here, this is at a brand new car dealership. Those are brand new cars, tossed like nothing. And I know some people have seen some of this on the news, how this the state of Missouri, and I'm gonna be distinct, the capital was ripped. I seen houses floating up and down the street. I mean, I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life. I have never heard of that many tornadoes going off just throughout that region that has those tornadoes simultaneously. I didn't lost count. The last was 50, and it's probably been since then about 80, literally. But they don't want to report that kind of stuff to people because it will frighten them, and I'm serious about that. Then maybe they'll be honest and come with the correct numbers. And so there is a lot going on, and it's not, and it is astounding to me how major and extensive what's going on, that the president and no one in the government is acknowledging what's really going on. It always makes me think back to when I learned about the Dust Bowl. Studied at my royal family about what the Dust Bowl really meant. And so anyhow, I'm going to share a few videos with the royal family so we can get a feel of how major this is. And I have a bonus video for the royal family that y'all will really enjoy. A very deep message. So as we continue on, we're going to go to this first video, and it says here, it's like a bomb went off. EF3 tornado strikes Jefferson City, leaving extensive damage behind. So let's get into it. No damn commercials, man. I can't stand commercials. See, get this almost over with, then we can get into it. They have to pay their bills.
Tornado winds tossing cars like they were toys. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve Savard. Jefferson City is littered tonight with images like these illustrating the strength of the storm that hit last night. Homeowners and business owners continue tonight to pick up what they can, and we're continuing to bring you team coverage from Jefferson City. We begin with my colleague Courtney Bryant. And Courtney, a surreal day it had to be for Jefferson City area residents today.
It certainly was, Steve, as we've had a chance to just walk around a small area that's been really affected by this tornado. You can just see the amount of damage. It is isolated to certain areas, others untouched, but for the areas that it did affect, the people here have just been rebuilding, just reassessing the damage nonstop, really, and I should say rebuilding because those efforts started almost immediately. We saw people working to repair a roof just across from us at a bank. And the big effort today has been restoring power. There have been many Ameren crews here on the ground working around the clock, some of them pulling shifts as long as 22 hours, leaving their own families behind at home to try and get power back to the thousands of people who lost it. Our Alexis Zotos has been talking with people who had to leave their homes and come back to find them almost gone. Alexis, you have also been detailing the 9 p.m. curfew that was put in place today by the mayor.
That's right. You know, Courtney, there is so much destruction still. If you take a look around me, I mean, pieces of a roof, a fence, twisted metal, and of course these houses behind me have had their roofs torn off. People have had to leave their homes, leave behind their things. We just saw this child's backpack left behind here, and that's exactly why a curfew has been enacted by this city for safety purposes, as well as keeping these hard-hit areas safe from others. We have seen police patrolling these neighborhoods, the neighborhoods that really took a hard hit last night.
So I'm helping her down the basement steps. As soon as I'm helping her down the steps, all the windows break first.
In the daylight, it's clear the damage the EF3 tornado did to his grandparents' home. In the moments just before midnight, well, it was another story.
I'm feeling the raindrop, then I'm looking at the lightning. I'm like, I know it was just a roof, like right here.
A view from Sky Zoom 4 shows just how many homes on Case and Union Street, right next to Jefferson City High School, were destroyed.
We've been here 44 years and it kills me, but I will think about that in a couple weeks.
For Gwen McGeorge, her roof is gone, but the priority right now is getting valuables out of her home, the things the tornado didn't sweep away.
And I've experienced this before, so I knew immediately what it was, so I yelled for my husband to wake up.
Gwen was in the bathtub. They never quite made it to the basement. While the moment was terrifying, she can joke about the thought that raced through her head.
I mean, I just knew that we were going to die, and I just asked my husband, please don't let me die naked in the street, because I just jumped out of the tub.
When the sounds of the tornado came to an end, she found pajamas and made her way outside. They heard a much better sound. The voices of their neighbors.
And that's why I love this neighborhood. Are you okay? Next door. We're fine. Are you okay, Renee? Renee, I'm fine. Karen, are you okay?
Really, watching these neighborhoods come together has been incredible. You can't really tell because of our lights right now, but it is very dark over here just next to Jefferson City High School. And Ameren crews are still working tonight to restore power across the city. Good news, though, at the latest check, they have restored about 70% of the power back throughout Jefferson City. Courtney, back to you.
All right, that is good news. Thank you, Alexis. As we've had the chance to look at some of the damage around here, really everywhere you look, the damage is a reminder of what happened last night when the storm hit. I mean, things tossed around, pieces of roofing shingles, pieces of insulation, electrical wires hanging down. It just tells a story of what happened. But this was almost too eerie. A clock that was thrown from the wall in this building back here, the batteries knocked out, and it froze to the time almost exactly when the storm hit. Also at that moment, in this building here behind me, the owner of the business was hunkering down in a bathroom riding out the storm. Just before the tornado touched down, Capital City Cheer owner Ron Swanson was holding evening classes at the gym just off Ellis Boulevard.
We were just closing up shop when all the sirens went off, so we didn't want to get out on the road, stuck in the middle of a tornado.
As the storm grew closer, Swanson and one of his employees knew they had to take shelter. So they went for the one place they thought they'd be safe.
We were in here. Underneath that sink.
The bathroom, one of the only places left completely untouched by the storm's path of destruction. Did you expect to see outdoors when you walked out?
I knew there was damage because I could feel the building. But I didn't expect the wall to be gone.
Swanson believes it was a miracle his life was spared.
I mean, God had his hand on this whole bathroom because there's zero, like if you step in there with the lights on, it looks like a normal day at the gym. And as soon as you walk out here, I mean, look at it. It's just a disaster.
He feels very thankful. This could have been a lot worse, and he feels so glad that he got out of it with his life. None of the kids here were hurt. Everything ended well except for his business. He probably will be able to get all the equipment back that was lost. It's covered by insurance, he says, but it will be a setback being out of business for a few weeks. It's a similar story to others we've heard across Jefferson City tonight. They have lost businesses, they've lost homes, but you know what? They are thankful that they are alive. Still no reported deaths in this entire storm we've been telling you about. Really amazing.
All right, my royal family, let's get that shut down. Let me take this down all the way. Okay, so as we continue on, title here, violent tornado tears across Missouri, killing 3 and leaving extensive damage.
We do want to speak with Mayor Carrie Turgeon from the city of Jefferson City, Missouri, as some severe watches remain in effect far to the west. We don't have a severe threat for Jefferson City at this point for this evening, but Mayor Turgeon, what's been going on today as we recover from this tornado?
Well, you know, today has really been an extension of last night. It was just all hands on deck as soon as the storm hit. Our police and fire departments went into action, and surrounding agencies came together, the state, the county, other cities surrounding us came together and sent resources and officers, and they were out in the community, in the neighborhoods, just making sure that everybody was okay, and for those that had been displaced, making sure they were able to get somewhere, and making sure, you know, that there weren't injuries. And we're very, very fortunate with the amount of significant damage that we did not have a lot of injuries, and thankfully there have been no fatalities reported.
And that's definitely a good thing. Now, kind of going along the lines of, you said people being displaced, at this point, do you have any kind of numbers involving how many homes or how many structures might have been damaged by this tornado?
We don't yet, but I know it was pretty expansive. It was really from one end of town to the other. It started on the south end of Jefferson City, moved through kind of the central core, and then on out. So it really left a pretty widespread path, and it hit things from businesses to our brand new Special Olympics Training for Life facility. It hit a car dealership and had cars almost on top, literally on top of each other. Power lines down everywhere, trees down. Lincoln University president's home. Luckily, she was okay. She was in there at the time. And then a lot of neighborhoods were hit. And then an area that's very historic, Capitol Avenue, that has some of the most historic homes in our city, was suffered significant damage as well.
Well, we appreciate your time, Mayor Carrie Turgeon.
Okay, so that's the end of that, my royal family. Now, before I get in to the next video, again, Farrakhan keeps saying to watch the weather. And I want you to pay close attention, my royal family, to Esau's language. And we are going to hear more of this in these last, literally, seconds. Literally. And it's very important, again, to pay attention to language. And another thing, when I was saying I suggest that y'all do some research on the Dust Bowl, when all of that was going down, and some people I do know, the government ignored their own people, and they played they played a part in it too as well, the farmers, because they didn't know how to respect the land, and they just kept using the land and not alternating those crops to give a chance for the land to rest and properly it's like healing itself, and more nutrients are in the soil, so it created a dust bowl. And when that dust bowl arrived to D.C., then the politicians got their ass up and did something because it affected their immediate situation. See, I use that word a lot, and it's just, I have a tendency to repeat myself, and I'm always talking about us dealing with our immediate situation, and you see how Esau is neglecting everything because they jockeying for power, and they know that their numbers are dwindling. So some, now I'm going to say a lot of them are ignoring the weather. A lot of them, they're ignoring it. And it's going to have to affect them in such a way, oh, we got to deal with this because this shit is major. And the leadership is so wrapped up in his shit that he don't even acknowledge what's going on. It's like that ain't even happening. See, this also puts you in the frame of mind of Katrina, how they did the royal family during Katrina, and the government played dumb like that shit didn't happen. And you see how sweet Yah is. Karma is a true bitch. So we will really hear how authentic Esau sounds when they have realized they don't have control of shit. It's all an illusion.
I watched it hit me.
You watched it hit you. What was that like?
I watched it. You don't want to know, man.
You were in the front seat of the truck. What happened to your windshield?
I watched it explode.
This is your truck we're looking at right here. Just so you know, David, we're looking at your truck right now. It's dark. We can't see much of it, but we can see that it's pushed over completely on its side and where the windshield, where you must have crawled out there. What was the cargo you were carrying?
Soda pop.
A lot of it, right?
44,500 pounds of it.
And so what happened to the truck overall?
Honestly, truthfully, to be honest with you, that storm picked me up and slammed me down like I was nothing but a soda can.
And you cut your way out? Were you were trapped in your seatbelt after the truck was toppled over?
Yes, I was.
So explain to me what happened there.
I used a pocket knife to cut my seatbelt, and then I cleaned out the front windshield. That was no longer there.
You used a pocket knife to cut the seatbelt, then you climbed out of the windshield, which you told me moments ago had exploded.
Yes.
David, how are you? Go ahead.
It exploded inwards and then literally sucked right back out.
How are you doing this morning, David?
Being grateful that I'm alive. Just being grateful that I'm alive.
Okay, so we heard.
I've been saying to myself, how are we going?
We heard Yah's. Not, excuse me. Well, he felt Yah. Let me say that definitely. He got to feel the divine hand. And what I wanted to add, remember when I was saying that always keep a long hammer under your front seat and always keep some type of utility knife near you because you may have to cut your way up out of a vehicle. That is essential, my royal family. But I really wanted y'all to really hear him. You know, see some of these things that Esau are saying, they are having these encounters, and they know it's a divine hand. You know, he said he was thankful, but you see how Esau is? Was he thankful to the Creator? That would have been the first thing on my psyche, the very first thing. Now, I'm going to get into the bonus video. Some may have heard this and some haven't, but it's always good to refresh and reinforce our psyche in keeping certain things that are pertinent on our frontal lobe. Farrakhan said, watch the weather. And we have been watching across America the entire royal family. It doesn't matter, from infant all the way up, male, female, how the enemy has been raining down on us. I'll leave it right there.
You are not going to let us go. So God is going to contend with you. I don't think you can win that one. For the scripture says he has treasured up snow in the north for that great day of battle. You haven't seen snow like you're going to see it. You can't fight God and win. He turns nature against you, and he's doing that as we speak. He says, I will contend with thee, meaning you, that contends with me, and the two that back me. You don't like what I'm saying, and you wish I would stop, and some of you will try to stop me. That's entirely up to you. But remember, when you plan against me, the plan is already against you, and to prove it, he's going to increase the calamities shortly after you hear this message.
The ingredients are coming together for this recipe for a historic storm in the north and east.
So now you have the Arctic air, now you have two storms, and all the ingredients are there, Sam. The only place that may get missed is if the storm's a little too far east. Maybe New York City doesn't get a foot of snow, but I think southern New England in this red area, batten down the hatches. It's coming tonight.
Blizzard of 2013, 45 million Americans digging out from the snow. And after hurricane-strength winds drove the storm through, the next system now on the way. Sam Champion on that shortly. But first, here are the pictures tonight. Across a half dozen states, images like this one. This guy is snowblower almost completely disappearing there in 3 feet of snow. And this, so common today, just trying to get the cars out of it and vanished underneath the white stuff. And look at this tonight, right here behind me, one family actually putting a camera trained on their back deck. And once we speed up the video, you can actually see how quickly it came down, how much, completely covering the lens. And the space image we wanted to show you tonight, this one from NASA. 2 giant systems coming together to create this massive blizzard, and just look at the northeast there, disappearing under a massive storm.
He's bringing hail and snow and floods and tornadoes.
The snow, the howling winds, and the angry ocean. Tonight, New England's monster blizzard is well out to sea, but in its wake, horrendous winds still battering the coast. Waves lashing homes. This woman had to be rescued from her home. For those in its path, it was a back-breaking Saturday spent digging out. 30 million woke up to a foot of snow, 11 million over 2 feet. In Portland, Maine, it was the biggest snowfall ever, almost 32 inches.
Check this out. Hattiesburg, Mississippi. My name is Ronald Grant. And check this out. It's happening right outside my hotel. Look at that. Look at all that damage, dude.
Families in south central Mississippi were in the middle of Sunday supper when all of a sudden the sky went dark, and then came the sound of terror, a giant tornado screaming through town.
I've never heard it like that. It's usually loud.
This was the view from a camera right in the tornado's path. Immediate destruction.
There's huge stuff falling out of the sky.
By the time the tornado hit Hattiesburg, residents who recorded these amazing videos say it looked a mile wide.
So, that video speaks for itself. It truly does. Farrakhan been saying this, and the message that I want to give the royal family directly, this is a message that Yah was putting in me as I was listening. He wants the royal family to know the more that we increase our total faith the more that we, again, increase our total faith in our Father, the more destruction, the faster the destruction we will see. We just must stay out of Esau's world, because it is time for them to pay for their misdeeds. And we already know, because I've been saying it over and over, that it's nothing they can do. They can't make a law. They can't arrest the weather. It's nothing they can do with the weather, because you know they always sitting up making up some type of law to keep us oppressed in this system. It's nothing they can do at all. And the more that they continue to rain down on us, continue to rig up shit that we don't know behind the scenes, manipulate, messing with the food, the medicine, everything that you can possibly think of, they will deal with this quicker too as well. So there's a dual thing going on. We increase our faith, and they will increase their evil deeds, because they don't know nothing else to do. They want to hold on to white supremacy. We some peaceful people. We ask one thing: leave us alone. They not gonna leave us alone at all. I keep saying, they see the kingdom in us. They see the everlasting life in the royal family. So it's like just our sheer existence fucks with their psyche. So while they are focusing on us, Yah sees everything that's going down. In my lifetime, I have never seen this much calamity ever when it comes to exclusively the weather. Like I said, they are underreporting, and I could be possibly underreporting how many tornadoes. So they just kind of scattered it about. I say, damn, it could be about 80, possibly even 100. I keep saying, my royal family, everything that you will see will be in biblical proportions. So, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.